In 1921, the groundbreaking discovery of insulin by Sir Frederick Banting and Charles Best marked a pivotal movement in medical history. This year, as we convene for the Diabetes Update CME, the evolution of diabetes management has been remarkable, and the CME serves as a platform to delve into the most recent developments, ensuring that we stay at the forefront of providing optimal care to our patients. To set the stage for this informative event, I would like to begin by requesting our organizing chairman, Dr. Devdas Rai, and organizing secretary, Dr. Shrikant, to kindly escort our esteemed dignitaries on to the dais.
Almighty, the oft forgiving, who has created, we have adorned the nearest heavens with lamps, and we have made.
We are honored to have our dynamic head of the department and chairman of organizing committee, Dr. Devdas Rai, head of the Department of General Medicine, to deliver the welcome speech, setting the tone for this enlightening event.
Respected chairman of the Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, Dr. Haji UK Monu sir, Director of the Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, Mr. Abdul Rahman, the Dean of Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, Professor Dr. udupi Ratnakar, the Medical Superintendent of Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, Professor Dr. Harish Shetty, the Chairman of the Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Committee, Professor Dr. Mohammad Ismail, and also he is the KMC observer for this CME. The member of the Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Committee, Professor Dr. M. Venkatray Prabhu, Dr. Rohan Moniz, the Chief Administrative Officer of Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, Dr. Shrikant Hegde, the Organizing Secretary of this CME. We have a few HODs and all, I'll acknowledge them later. Now, this is the third year the Department of General Medicine is organizing a CME on diabetes, titled KIMS Diabetes Update 3. It's mandatory that every department in the college should organize a CME, preferably of 8 hours duration and with 2 credit hours. So we have been doing that, and why we are concentrating on diabetes is because diabetes remains the major challenge. I'm not going to very many statistics because that one exclusive lecture on statistics will be there on the rising incidence of diabetes mellitus will be given later on, and some of the other speakers may speak. But the theme of the WHO from the year 2021 to 2023 is access to diabetic care. This year, the WHO is concentrating more on type 2 diabetes mellitus. In fact, it is promoting the awareness of type 2 diabetes mellitus and asking the people like the professionals and non-professionals to identify the possible risk factors for the development of type 2 diabetes mellitus so that we can delay the onset of the type 2 diabetes mellitus. And there is a reversal also which our Professor Dr. Balakrishnan will speak about. It has been estimated so that the people are more aware, they take proper preventive measures and try to delay the onset and try to minimize the complications and also take effective treatment. It's said that 1 in 10 of the population of the world is suffering from diabetes mellitus, and in that, about 90% of the people are suffering from type 2 diabetes mellitus. And it is also said that the diagnosed cases are only 50%. So 50% of the cases are not diagnosed. So this is a very big issue. So that is about a few figures about diabetes mellitus. Now coming directly to the my assignment, I warmly welcome Dr. Haji UK Monu, the chairman of the Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, a dynamic person who has revolutionized the entire, the place of nautical. He has started so many institutions and so many more institutions are there. And I thank him for all the support he has been giving to all the departments for the academic activity. Welcome to this CME, sir. I would also like to welcome our Dean, Professor Dr. udupi Ratnakar, academician par excellence, and is a promoter of all academic activities, a disciplinarian. Professor Dr. Mohammad Ismail, one of the leading physicians of Mangalore, a leading academician, He is the chairman of the Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Committee, and also he is the observer of the Karnataka Medical Council of this CME. Welcome you, sir. Professor Dr. Harish Shetty, the medical superintendent of Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, senior professor of gynecology. I warmly welcome you, sir, to this. Professor Dr. M. Venkatrai Prabhu, who is a member of the Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Committee, senior physician, former Vice Chancellor of Mahe. Sir, we would like to welcome you. Dr. Rohan Monis, Chief Administrative Officer of Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences, always there in the thick of action, one of the man of action. So we'll welcome you, sir. Dr. Srikanth Hegde, he is the backbone of the CME. He is the one who has done most of the work, the organizing secretary and the diabetologist of the CME, plus a resource person. Sir, I would like to welcome you. And I would like to welcome the faculty. Already Professor Dr. Prabhadikari, Head of Department of Geriatric Medicine, Yenapaya Medical College, has already delivered a lecture. I would like to welcome her in absentia. Then we have Professor Dr. Balakrishnan Velioth. He is the star speaker of every CME. We have a star speaker from outside. He is a senior professor. He was a former HOD of the Department of General Medicine. Of course, his biodata will be given in detail by the our staff. He is a well-known diabetologist all over India, and he'll be talking about reversal of type 2 diabetes mellitus. So I would like to welcome you, sir. Also, we have Professor Dr. Ganesh HK, one of the foremost endocrinologists of Mangalore. Endocrinologist from AJ Institute of Medical Sciences. He'll be there with us shortly. He'll be talking on diabetes and perioperative management of diabetes. I would like to welcome him in absentia. Then we have Dr. Sudeep, consultant endocrinologist of Father Muller's Institute, Father Muller's Medical College. He'll be speaking on the latest treatment aspects of diabetes. I would like to welcome him, sir. I welcome him in absentia. Dr. Suprita Shetty. She is a consultant pediatric endocrinologist of AJ Medical College. She'll be speaking on diabetes in the young. I would like to welcome her also. Then we have Dr. Srikanth Hegde, our own faculty. He'll be talking on the rising incidence of diabetes mellitus. So I would like to welcome you once again. Then we have, who else is left in the faculty? I think that's a thing. That is Balakrishna Velioth and Dr. Prabhadikari, Dr. Sudeep, Dr. Srikanth Hegde, Dr. Suprita Shetty. That's all. Now, because I would like to speak without referring the notes, so sometimes we may miss. Yes, thank you. So all these resource persons will be there to give valuable inputs to all of you. I would like to welcome some of the HODs who have come here. There was Dr. Roshan from the Department of Anatomy. He came and I think he attended one session. Then we have Dr. Shanavas Manipadi, the Deputy Medical Superintendent, also the HOD of Forensic Medicine. He is here. I would like to welcome him. Then our HOD of Department of Psychiatry, Dr. Jayant, sir. Welcome you, sir. HOD of Department of Radiology, Dr. Ram Prasad. Welcome you, sir. Head of Department of Dermatology, Dr. Shanai, Madam. Madam, welcome you. Also, Department of Microbiology, Dr. Yashwant Rai, Professor Dr. Yashwant Rai. HOD of Department of Pediatrics, Professor Dr. Shamshad Khan. And HOD of the Department of Physiology, Dr. Satish. And also many senior professors are there. I would specially welcome Dr. Nasir Akhtar. He was former HOD of medicine in Yenapaya Medical College. He is HOD of medicine in Loni, in a medical college in Loni, Maharashtra. He has come exclusively for the CME. So I think he really needs a word of big applause. Also, I would like to welcome all the faculty of general medicine. There are the different people who are introducing the different people, the assistant professors and the senior residents of the Department of Medicine. I won't take each name. Also, we have the PGs who have been helping us, the interns who have been helping us, and the delegates. 151 people have registered for this CME. It's a very good response. We stopped the registration 3 days back because the Karnataka Medical Council is very strict about that. Otherwise, we would have crossed 200, I think. But I think Professor Dr. Mohammed Ismail will agree with me. I think it's not the quality which is quantity which is important, it is the quality which is important. And also there was a question by some people, why are you doing diabetes only every year? I think our idea is to keep this as a brand. Kanachur, okay, they'll have a CME on diabetes every year. Then our popularity will be more and plus so that's why we are concentrating on diabetes. The third year, the first year we had about 206 registrations. Of course, the second year we had 130 because then first year we had kept it free. Then now we are having 151 registrations. So I would wish all the delegates all the very best. Please go back richer with the experience. And please keep coming to Kanachur Institute of Medical Sciences for these academic sessions. I would like to welcome the media. There is Rotarian M. Vasanta Malya, who will see to it that will come in 10 papers. And yes, the English papers also. So these are all covered in the media and then all the websites and all those things. So I would especially like to welcome them also. Thank you.
In the spirit of knowledge and unity, let us now proceed to light the ceremonial lamp, symbolizing the enlightenment that this CME aims to provide. I request all the dignitaries to join us for this auspicious ceremony. Please join me in welcoming our beloved Professor Dr. Mohammed Ismail Hejmadi, KMC Observer of today's CME and the head of Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Committee. Sir, I request you to share your valuable insights.
Honorable Chairman, Dr. Haji U.K. Monu, the Dean, the Medical Superintendent, the Deputy Medical Superintendent, and Dr. Devdas Rai, Dr. Rohan Moniz, and our beloved Dean, and my friend, philosopher and guide, Dr. Venkat Rai Prabhu, and my very close friend, Dr. Balakrishna Veliot. He is not only a professor and former head of the department, he is also called as a national professor. He has been given the national professorship by the government of India, and he is a double FRCP. In fact, my FRCP was recommended by Dr. Balakrishna Veliot, and Dr. Athar, he is a very close friend of mine. We had examinership together, and he is a very good examiner, and he will examine you now if you want, okay? And my dear friends, students, staffs, and head of the departments, I have the dual job of today. One is as an observer for Karnataka Medical Council, which I am going to observe properly. And of course, you all know that you will be getting 2 points. And as an observer, I will be getting 3 points. And these points are very, very important that every 5 years, we have to go on renovating and doing all these points again and again till the age of 65 years. And after the age of 65 years, the Karnataka Medical Council thinks that you don't have to study any further. So up to 65, and I think I'm quite young as far as that is concerned. So I will be requiring 3 points here. So I wish you all the best for today's function. The most important thing I want to talk to you about diabetes, I don't want to give you any knowledge about diabetes, but I want to tell you what's happening in diabetes. See, the diabetes, Dr. Devdas was telling, people are asking, why diabetes in Kanachur Medical College? Why diabetes more? Because diabetes is more. 104 million people in India are suffering from diabetes, and 140 million people are having pre-diabetes. So totally together, maybe around 300 million people in India are diabetic. And the diabetes is the one which you know very well can give rise to all sorts of complications. Formerly we had, syphilis, which used to affect each and every part of the body. Yes, and the diabetes now affects each and everything. And you all know that diabetes is not been a new disease at all. 1,500 years ago, before Christ, 1,500 years before Christ, in the Egyptian papyrus, there is a mention about diabetes. And 250, 300 years before Christ, our own Charaka, as well as Sushruta, had told about diabetes. And in fact, Sushruta said diabetes as a Madhu Mega, as if cloud burst of nothing but sweet. So diabetes, we all know, is nothing but a Greek-Latin word. It's actually a Greek-Latin word. Diabetes means to flow through. As if the water is flowing through. That is the symptom with which the diabetes come. So we thought about diabetes as a single disease, but it is not. And diabetes is not just sweet. It is more than sweet and more than the complications. If you take the examples of diabetes, it started as only an insulin problem. But now you have the so-called ominous octet. Ominous octet, that means there are 8 reasons for the development pathogenesis of diabetes. And then every year we are having diabetes conference, diabetes discussion. ADA has got every year in June, there is a diabetes conference going on and on and on and on. And now we have about more than 10 drugs for diabetes. What does this suggest? It suggests that the knowledge about diabetes, what we have, is only the tip of the iceberg. We have not really understood what diabetes is. Now, when insulin was started, we thought that we have everything about diabetes. In fact, there are people who got Nobel Prize for, in diabetes. The first person was Friedrich Sanger. Friedrich Sanger, you must have all heard. He is the only person who got 2 times Nobel Prize in a biochemistry to deal with the particular insulin and the amino acid and sequencing and DNA sequencing of this insulin was found by Friedrich Sanger, who got Nobel Peace Prize and died just about 10-15 years ago. And we have our own person, Banting and Best. And the Best was a student and Banting was a professor who found out insulin in 1921. And that we thought has changed the whole course of diabetes. And in fact, of course, definitely type 1 diabetes completely changed thanks to insulin, and diabetes was under control. But is it enough? No. For a type 2 diabetes, we have got so many things, so many anti-diabetic drugs. There are 10 types of anti-diabetic drugs all of us know very well. Why do you have 10? Because 1 is not enough. Why 1 is not enough? Because that doesn't do the job. So you have 10 and you have more to go. So today I want to tell you something about a different cell in diabetes. I'm not trying to teach you, but I'm just trying to instigate for you, because if you people can find something out of this, you will be the next Nobel Prize winner. And that is about delta cell. You have heard about alpha cell, you have about beta cell producing insulin and glucagon. And there is something called a delta cell which produces somatostatin. And this somatostatin will suppress the alpha cell as well as the beta cell. And if you can tweak this delta cell, and if you have some arrangement, some drugs, something to do with the delta cell, that can change the whole type of diabetes. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we are going to have more and more drugs, and more things are happening. For example, we had GLP and we had GIP. GLP agonists were there. Now we have GIP agonists were there. Now we are having together GLP and GIP agonists together. Tirzepatide, which is called a Mounjaro, which is an injection you give every 1 week, which is supposed to reduce your sugar as well as weight. In fact, nowadays they are giving more for weight reduction than for the diabetes. So what I'm trying to tell you is that diabetes is not understood completely by any one of us. If that were to be the case, there won't be so many conferences every year all over the place. So we have enough and more to do for diabetes, and in the next future, we may be having something totally getting rid of diabetes, because that is the most serious disorder we have ever. You could finish off the COVID, absolutely no problem. You could finish off polio, absolutely no problem. You may even finish off the cancer because you are going to have CAR T-cell therapy. But diabetes as a cure is not in sight as of now. But then Dr. Balakrishna Veliyoth is going to tell us how to reverse diabetes. And there are surgeons waiting in the wings to do something for control of diabetes. With the bariatric surgery, they feel that diabetes type 2, when we are talking about diabetes type 2, they say that it is an absolute cure. We all thought it is true, and we sent a lot of our patients for bariatric surgery, and it helped only for a few years, and later on it came back again. So, diabetes is the disease which is not well understood. It is actually a confused disease with full of confusion. And all the drugs which we are using for diabetes has got its own adverse effect and side effect. However much you control the diabetes, some of the complication cannot be stopped at all. And no anti-diabetic drug, oral or injection or GLP, GIP, semaglutide, SGLT inhibitors, whatever drugs you are talking about, every one of them has got a adverse effect as well. In fact, the FDA is very, very particular that in getting into the drugs into the market, the FDA is very, very particular about the heart effect of any new drug. If a drug has to come out, the heart has to be the safest with this use of drugs. So we have to learn more about diabetes, and we may be going to have stem cell transplantation, which will go inside the pancreas and arrange itself into the beta cell and start producing insulins. Those days are not very, far. In fact, future is not very far. Anything can happen in the future. If we can make a person like you, the so-called cloning, and if we can make an embryo without even fertilization of the two eggs and the sperm, you can do anything in future. And we have a lot of exciting things in diabetes. And diabetes is one of the most beautiful disease to read about, but not to have it. Thank you so much.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥರು ರತ್ನಾಕರ್, ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಇಸ್ಮಾಯಿಲ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವೆಂಕಟರಾಯ ಪ್ರಭು, ಹರೀಶ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ, ಶ್ರೀಕಾಂತ್ ಹೆಗಡೆ, ರೋಹನ್ ಮೋನಿಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಈ CMEಯ ರೂವಾರಿ ಹರೀಶ್ ದೇವದಾಸ್ ರೈ ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂಥ ಹಿರಿಯ ವೈದ್ಯರುಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಂಥ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರುಗಳು, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ದೀಪಾವಳಿಯ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಕಣಚೂರು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಾನು ಇದು 3ನೇ ಸಲ ಆಯಿತು. ದೇವದಾಸ್ ರೈ ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸಿತ್ತು. ಕಾರಣ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಹಿಮೂತ್ರ ಇದು ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೊಂದು ಪಿಡುಗಾಗಿ ಪರಿಣಮಿಸಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಅಂದಾಜಿನ ನನ್ನ ಅನುಭವದ ಒಂದು ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಧದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಮೊದಲುಗೊಳ್ಳುವಷ್ಟು ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಔಷಧಿ ಕೊಡುವ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಇಸ್ಮಾಯಿಲ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರಷ್ಟೇ ಅನುಭವ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಎದುರಿಸಿ ನನಗಿದೆ. 94ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲು ನಾನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಕಂಡಿತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವೂ ಇದೆ. ಅಬ್ರಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ನೀರಿನ ಬೆಲೆಗೆ ಈ ಪೆಪ್ಸಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ಸಿಗ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು. ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಯೋ ಬದಲು ಬಾಯಾರಿಗಾದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಕುಡಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಹೈ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು. ಆವತ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತಿನವರೆಗೆ ಇದರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನದ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಎದುರಿಸುವ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ನನಗಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ. ಅದು ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಕಳೆದ 10 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯರಿಗೆ ಶಾರೀರಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪಾರಂಪರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬರುವುದು ಅಂತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಏನು ಅಂತೇಳಿದರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಹಾರ ಪದ್ಧತಿ, ಆಹಾರ ಸೇವನೆಯ ಪದ್ಧತಿ, ಇದರಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಇದು ಸಂಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವೀಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೌಟುಂಬಿಕ ಗೆಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮದುವೆ ಸಮಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ 25-30 ಐಟಮ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದೊಂದು ತುಂಡು ತೆಗೆದು ನಾವು ಸವಿದರೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬ ಆಗಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಜಾಗ ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಫುಲ್ಲು ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಭಾರವಾಗಿ ನಿದ್ದೆಗೆ ಜಾರ್ತೇವೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಆದರೆ. ಇದು ಅದೇ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿ ತಿಂದರೆ ಅವತ್ತು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ನನಗೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಲಗಿದರೆ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹೈ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಥರದ ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಯುವ ವೈದ್ಯರುಗಳು ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಮನಗಂಡು, ಇದು ಒಬ್ಬ ಇಬ್ಬ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಸಂಭವಿಸುವುದಂಥದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವೈದ್ಯರುಗಳ ಇಲಾಖೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲಾಖೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುವ ಯುವ ವೈದ್ಯರುಗಳು ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕೂಲಂಕುಷವಾಗಿ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ನಡೆಸಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಯಾರೇ ಈಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಇದು ನೋಡಿದರೂ ಆ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಆಪ್ರೇಷನಿಗೆ ಬೀಳುವಾಗ ಅವರು ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗಲೂ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವುದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸಿನ ಏರುಪೇರು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯುವ ವೈದ್ಯರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಅವಕಾಶ. ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಮ್ಮ CME ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ರೈ ಅವರನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ತಪ್ಪಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಯಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹಾರೈಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್.
Pearls of wisdom. Up next, we have the honor of acknowledging Dr. Muhammad Ismail sir, our dedicated KMC observer. To express our gratitude, we'd like to present memento and certificate as a symbol of appreciation. I request our beloved chairman, Dr. Haji UK Monu sir, to hand over gratitude.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಸಮಾರಂಭದ ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆ ಈ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನನಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಮಾರಂಭಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಹಾಜಿ UK ಮೋನು ಸರ್, ಇವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಅಮೂಲ್ಯವಾದ ಸಮಯವನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೂ ಅವರ ಜೀವನದ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರು ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಹೇಗೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎದುರಿಸಿದ್ರು, ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರೆಗಳಿದ್ವು, ಈಗ ಇನ್ಸುಲಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಡಯಾಬಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಹುರಿದುಂಬಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಮಿಟಿಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆದ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಅವರ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದು ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಅವರ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರ್ಸ್ ಡೀನ್ ಕಿಮ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ರತ್ನಾಕರ್ ಸರ್, thank you for your time sir, for attending these programs. Chairman of Kanachur Health Sciences Advisory Committee and our KIMS observer today, Professor Dr. Muhammad Ismail sir, thank you for your time and your wonderful speech. I also thank member of Kanachur Health Science Advisory Committee, Professor Dr. M.V. Prabhu sir, thank you for your time sir. I also thank our medical superintendent, Professor Dr. Harish Shetty sir. Thank you sir. And also, I would like to thank Dr. Rohan Moni sir for your valuable time. To thank all those who have worked behind the screen to putting up this CME. So it only makes sense to thank them. To start with, I must thank our beloved head of the department and Professor Dr. Devdas Rai. He said, I am the backbone of the CME. It's not true. Actually, he is the real backbone of the CME. You can say we are all paraspinal muscles, but he is the real backbone of the CME. And also, I would like to thank all our dear colleagues of medicine department, starting with Dr. Nasim Shatri, and all of our Dr. Vishal, Dr. Nasim Shatri, Dr. Sindhu Kumar, Dr. Swati, Dr. Ramya, Dr. Praveen, and all other colleagues. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you. To thank our energetic PG team, Dr. Abbas and his friends, and also I would like to thank our interns, and especially I would like to thank our MCs for today, Dr. Madhura Bhatt and Dr. Pratvish. Thank you for your cooperation. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our speakers, Professor Dr. Balakrishna Valyar sir, and all the other delegates who are going to come. I think Dr. Suprita Shetty is already here. We welcome you, madam. And also we would like to thank Dr. Prabha Adhikari. Her speech was supposed to be in the afternoon. Because of some schedule, she spoke first. So we'd like to thank her also, and all the other speakers, Dr. Ganesh HK, Dr. Sudeep.
Thank you, sir. Breakfast will be served across the hallway. Kindly request you all to join with us and enjoy delightful refreshments.